What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Mercer, host of This Week in Real Pirate Ball, the original weekly Pittsburgh Pirates YouTube video blog. A new season of baseball is approaching, so it's time for my third annual Pittsburgh Pirates Baseball Primer. This week I'm going to focus on the starting position players on the team. As always, I'm going to give you my realistic expectations for each player. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. Catcher, Snyder. While Ryan Doumit continues to be peddled for a box of fireworks, Snyder will get the first chance to start the majority of games. Snyder's an average fielder and below-average hitter with some power, and I don't really expect him to be anything different this year. Look for a .230 average with about 10 to 15 homers. Pretty substandard numbers considering he and Doumit are making over 25% of the team's $42 million payroll this year.
I eat too much, I drink too much, I want too much.
I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Snyder and Doumit either traded or unloaded after the season to free up payroll. First base, Lyle Overbay. Overbay qualifies as this year's version of Sean Casey, Akinori Iwamura, and Jeremy Burnett's, a mediocre aging veteran that was acquired with the promise of a starting spot. Overbay used to be a doubles machine, but his skills have diminished a bit as he continues to age. I can't see Overbay being much more than a freakish combination of Adam LaRoche and Garrett Jones. He'll probably be slightly above average defensively and have a .260 average with about 20 homers. These are below average numbers for a first baseman, a premium power hitting position. As usual, poor production at first is one of the reasons the Pirates' offense is perennial in the bottom half of the league.
And if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat.
Second base, local guy Neil Walker. Walker's hustle and clutch hitting last summer helped him instantly become a fan favorite. The Pirates are counting on Walker to be part of the young core of players that will propel the Pirates to the championships in the near future. The problem is I've seen way too many minor leaguers with mediocre stats set the world on fire for half a season and be expected to continue to improve. I'd love to see Walker improve on last year's numbers, but there's a decent chance that he'll suffer the same fate that Garrett Jones did last year. I think a .270 average with about 15 homers is a fair expectation, but don't be surprised if Walker has an even more pronounced sophomore slump. Third base, Pedro Alvarez. The Pirates' biggest power threat is back for his first full season, and many people expect him to purvey his prominently prodigious power stroke at PNC this year. Say that 3 times fast.
Petey, you did a bang-up job. I'm putting you in charge of Pittsburgh.
Perfect.
I know it's perfect, Peter. That's why I picked Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's perfect, Peter. May I call you Pete?
Call me Pete.
Pete.
Unfortunately, rumors once again popped up this offseason concerning Alvarez's weight and conditioning program. All these negative reports have really started to trouble me at night.
¿Cómo puede ser falso? Last night I dreamt of Fat Pedro, just like Latino King Kong. You said I'm wrong, a young man with eyes on some dessert. Move him over to first base and feed his face chocolate and mint ice cream, running slower than Sid Bream. Gummy bears he longs to eat, él está gordita. And when he gains more weight, the runs will go bye-bye. Bring him some beers and cherry pies, the Pirate's chubby guy.
Let's hope that this issue doesn't cause defensive trouble, but I don't expect it to affect his offensive ability. Look for Alvarez to have the Pirates' first 30-homer season since 2006, although it'll probably come at the expense of almost 200 strikeouts. Shortstop, Ronnie Cedeno. The Pirates were apparently unable to find an upgraded short on the free agent market this year, so Cedeno will start there by default. At this point in his career, what you see is what you get with Cedeno. Average to below average defense and offense. think there's a good chance that younger players like Pedro Siriaco will get the chance to start at short for the Pirates at some point during the season. And hey, if the Pirates could sign guys like Pedro Martinez, Pedro Sanchez, and Pedro Serrano, they could try to field the first all-Pedro team.
Are you in good hands?
Anyway, look for Snyder to post another .245 average with a 10 home run output in 2011. Left field, Jose Tabata. Who says Neil Huntington doesn't make good trades? Jose was one of the key pieces of the Xavier Nady Damaso Marte trade with the Yankees, and he immediately showed his promise to the tune of a .299 batting average. Tabata has a natural ability to hit to all fields. I love watching this kid hit. Plus, his base stealing ability should be a great asset with new manager Clint Hurdle's emphasis on speed.
Speed kills coming down the mountain. Speed kills coming down the street. Speed kills the presence of mind. Speed kills if you know what I mean.
My only concerns are the reports of Tabata adding muscle to try to hit for more power this year, which I fear could alter his approach at the plate. Providing he doesn't try to hit a bomb in every at-bat, and providing nobody tells him that he's actually 35 years old, I'm predicting another .290 average with 10 to 15 homers and 30-plus steals.
And that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23. And I still more amused by TV shows. What the hell is ADD? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again?
Center field, Andrew McCutchen. He is the man. Even though he had nagging injuries throughout the 2010 season, McCutchen was able to exactly match his 2009 batting average and on-base percentage numbers. McCutchen was named the #1 center fielder in all of baseball by the MLB Network this offseason due to his great offensive and defensive abilities. The expectations are very high for McCutchen, and there's no reason to think that he won't continue to improve this year. Barring injury, I'm predicting a .300 average with 20 homers and about 40 to 45 steals. And if this happens, I'm imploring the Pirates to not be cheap and give McCutchen a market-comparable contract to buy out some of his free agent years. Pirates need to keep Andrew around to be the face of the team, especially if they ever become competitive. Right field, Garrett Jones and Matt Diaz. The Pirates are planning on using Jones and Diaz as a platoon this year to take advantage of their left and right-handed splits. In an ideal world, these guys could combine for about a .300 average and 30 home runs. While these plans look great on paper, I'm a little anxious to see exactly how this will play out. I'm not crazy about either on defense, although PNC's right field isn't the hardest to play. Plus, with each player never getting regular at-bats, there's a chance neither may get into a groove throughout the year. I'd be happy with about a .280 average and 25 homers, but I have a strange feeling that this platoon won't last all year for one reason or another. So, what do I think about the Pirates' offense in 2011? The top 5 or 6 spots of the order look very formidable, especially if guys like Tabata and McCutchen are able to get on base consistently during the year. However, the bottom 3 in the order are going to make for plenty of easy innings for the opposition. I'm eager to see Clint Hurdle's plan of taking extra bases put into action. Like I said last year, the Pirates always seem to have trouble driving in runs, so base runners should try to smartly move up whenever possible to make it easier to score. As evidenced early on in spring trading, I'm a bit scared that the Pirates will make too many outs on the base paths and negate any advantages to their small ball strategy. Optimistic Pirates fans would like to believe that all of the core 4, McCutchen, Tabata, Walker, and Alvarez, will all markedly improve this year. Unfortunately, this rarely happens for any team in baseball. I think it's realistic to expect 2 to improve, 1 to stay about the same, and 1 to slightly regress. All in all, I think the Pirates will score between 625 and 650 runs in 2011, which will translate into a slightly below-average offense. Still, that's a big step up from the 589 runs they scored last year, which was last in the National League. Well, that about does it for this week. Make sure you check back next week for my pitching and bench primer and my all-knowing lead pipe win-loss total for 2011. Until then, this is Greg Mercer for This Week in Real Pirate Ball. Later.